Welcome to the video about how to do question A1 on the 2019 SDM Lab Assessment. Here's the question. We're going to create a Papyrus project called A1 containing a UML class diagram using basic primitive types. Let's go and do that first then. So I'll do it in the usual way. Papyrus project, UML, that's fine. Next, it's supposed to be called A1. We're going to need a class diagram. We want basic primitive types. It's already ticked. Very good. We will create the project like that. What next? Now, we're going to need an interface main course, a class topping, and a class pizza. Let's get those created and then come back and worry about the details afterwards. Main course, topping, pizza. Now, remembering that an interface is not exactly the same thing as a class in UML. This is going to be main course. Fine. And now two classes. One called pizza and one called topping. So far so easy. Now, main course is supposed to have an operation getPrice taking no argument and returning an integer. And it doesn't tell us, but it had better be public because it doesn't make any sense to have a private operation of an interface, really. Okay, so getPrice, no arguments, returning an integer. Now we find ourselves the operation entry, which is down here. Curiously, these things are almost in alphabetical order, but not quite. So, operation. It's called getPrice. It is public, that's good. And now owned parameter, that's how we do the return type, remember? So we don't need it to have any arguments, we do need it to have a return type. So we'll have a return element, and its type is going to be, what was it supposed to be? It was supposed to be an integer. There we go. This is where it matters that we have our basic primitive types. So far so good. What next? Okay, topping is supposed to have a private attribute description of type string. Topping is supposed to have a private attribute. Now remember, there's a couple of different ways of setting this up, but the easiest way, I think, is to look at the owned attributes here. So that's what I'm going to do. I could do it by adding a property from the pane, but I find this slightly easier myself. So, owned attributes. Property. It's going to have a property which is going to be called description. This one's going to be private. And its type is going to be string. Okay. Now it hasn't shown up, so now we have to remember just to check our filters. Show hide contents. I would like to show my attributes. There we go. Now, class pizza, nothing special about that, fine. So now, an aggregation between pizza and topping, which way round, showing that a pizza may contain some toppings. Okay, aggregation. At this point, you have to remember that an aggregation is nothing but a special kind of association. And we want pizza, which may contain some toppings. Okay, now, I'll have a look at this association. Now, aggregation. We have to try to get the aggregation sign at the right end. We want the aggregation sign at the pizza end. So that probably means that we want the aggregation end. Aggregation shared, that's what we want. Oh no, that's the wrong end again. That I find really curious. Don't know about you. I expect it to be that end. But let's have a look and do it that end, since that's what you want. Good. Okay. pizza contains some toppings. Now, we haven't been told anything about navigability. I think this is the default navigability we would expect, so let's leave that for a moment and go on to think about multiplicities. Multiplicities indicating that a pizza may be linked to any number of toppings, that's going to be star, isn't it? While a topping is linked to exactly one pizza. So that means that one is wrong, and that one is right. Topping is supposed to be linked to exactly one pizza, and that's what we've got. Okay, so we want this multiplicity here to get replaced by any number, 0 dot dot star, which is going to get shown as just star. Okie dokie. Has that updated? It's a little bit difficult to see, but yes, it has. Right, now, so we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Now, finally, that the class pizza realizes the interface main course using an appropriate kind of line, not a ball / lollipop. Okay, an appropriate kind of line, she says. Pizza is supposed to realize main course. Now, where do I have the appropriate type of... There we are, realization, that's what we want. And we want pizza to realize main course. Yay, good. Oops. So that is our topping pizza main course model saved. And now we have to submit it. Export the project as a1.zip as described above and submit a1.zip. So, going to have to go File, Export, General Archive. It says File, Export, General Archive. File, Export, General Archive. Next, A1. Tick that. Have everything. Save in zip format. R to archive file,